Hey everyone, my name is Phil Batterson, and this is the Kit Camper. So the purpose of this video is to give everybody a walkthrough of version 1 of the Kit Camper, or the prototype that I built on my 2006 Tacoma. I also want to highlight why I decided to build this camper versus buying one from one of the major manufacturers. And then the last thing I want to do is kind of talk about future plans for kit campers in general. The reason why I chose to build a camper out of extruded aluminum were for a few reasons. Number one, I am a graduate student right now, and I don't really have that much money or available shop space, so I needed something that I could assemble in my driveway. My driveway was my workshop for this entire project to start out. Number two, I looked into buying a wedge camper, pop-up camper from major manufacturers, and it's extremely cost prohibitive to actually buy something from those manufacturers. Yes, I agree that the quality is probably top-notch from them, but at the same time, I didn't want to spend $10,000 on a camper where I felt like I could build one myself. Number three, the wait times are incredibly long right now with things like the supply chain shortages and other things like that are going on. So I didn't have time to wait. I wanted to take my partner on a really cool week-long trip at the end of the term that we had. So I only had 10 weeks in order to assemble the entire camper. So those are the three main reasons why I decided to opt to order pre-cut aluminum that's bolt together in order to make a camper that was less than $3,000, around 300 pounds, so it wasn't overloading my truck, and it only took me about 3 months to build, a little less than 3 months, and that was only working on the weekends. So now what we can do is we can dive into a little bit more of the details and get a little bit more of a walkthrough of what the camper actually is and what it looks like. Alright, so one of the major differences between this DIY camper and other ones that are out there, like on YouTube and those sort of things, is the change from a wedge style camper to a pop-up style camper. The reason why I wanted a pop-up style camper is because I wanted to take advantage of the tent space in the headroom within the tent space. Something that I had noticed before with a previous wedge style camper that I had built was that at the edge of the wedge you have very, very little space, and it feels a little bit more cramped and enclosed within the tent itself. So I took it upon myself to try to figure out how to design a pop-up style camper, and there's a bunch of really good YouTube videos that I'll link in the description below that really help walk you through how to make a pop-up style camper. And I feel like they need the attribution, because without them I wouldn't be here. But the major things is that I added gas struts, and then on the inside there's some like pop-up mechanisms that actually hold the entire roof up without having to hold anything in place or anything like that. So now let's take a little bit of a look inside the camper.
Alright, so here's the back of the camper. The first thing I want to show you is the bench that I made that has a bunch of storage underneath it. This allows us to kind of hang out and sit while we're at camp, and also store a bunch of stuff underneath that bench itself. We also have this seat back bunker that I bought from the Duluth Trading Company. They're not sponsored or anything like that, but this was just a really cool solution to being able to hang a bunch of storage underneath the camper itself. Then as we move to the side, we can see we have the quote-unquote cabana style doors where we can sit on the bench, we can look out kind of into nature and just enjoy it, while also having a roof over our heads. Now let's climb up into the bed. This is the bed /tent/sleeping area, And what I want to highlight here is that the tent material that I used is vinyl coated polyester. And this is used in a lot of marine applications. This material is a lot better than the previous tent material that I used. Another benefit of this vinyl coated polyester is that you can use vinyl glue on it, and this essentially will make all of your seams super, super durable and strong. For the bed portion of the tent, I used some yoga mats. They're 1/2 inch thick, and I just ordered them off Amazon. But what I did was I bought 2 of them, put them side by side, and then I cut them to fit into position. These yoga mats are a super nice base layer for the tent itself. Under the yoga mats, we have slidable platforms, which allow us to remove the bed if we don't want to keep it set up when we're at camp or something like that, if we just want to stand in the camper. And this was a big benefit to me because I wanted to make sure that we could still use the inside of the camper and not just have a tiny hole that we could just pop in and pop out of. This is different than other DIY campers that I've seen online where they have permanent platforms for the bed itself. All right, so now let's talk about what's holding the roof up. So this mechanism that I have right now is made out of wood, but I started with a different set of mechanisms that I used when I was manually popping the camper up. But now that I have the gas struts, I settled on this design where I have 2 pieces of wood with stainless steel piano hinges at the top, at the bottom, and right in the middle. And then at the very end, I added that lighter piece of wood in order to have the panels overlap a little bit. And right now I just use a little clamp from Home Depot in order to hold the panel in place until I figure out a way of actually locking the panel in place itself. On this iteration of the camper, I decided to use some homemade sandwich panel so I could get the kind of interior wood feel while also hopefully trying to save some money on panels in the process. But what I realized was that I really like the idea of using all aluminum composite material that you see here. It's just some aluminum on both sides, sandwiched over some polyethylene core. And it's super weather resistant and durable. And I finally found a good supplier in order to be able to make this a more affordable option for future projects. So I'm going to go with the aluminum composite core panel going forward. You can also get these panels from local signage shops, and that's what I did for the first build. But those signage shops will charge you a lot of money for this composite material. All right, so let's just take a walk around the outside of the camper, just getting a better view going the other way of the cabana doors, a little bit of sunshine, and then the very back of the camper where, again, we kind of have the overhang of the bed that's all set up right now, the bench with all of that storage underneath. You can see there was a gas stove that I kept under there and have been storing there over the winter. And the next thing I am planning on doing in terms of future builds for kit campers, other than a new camper, is to make a new bench. This bench was built out of wood and RV carpet material. And one of the things I like about wood is that it's, super moldable, relatively cheap. At least it used to be pretty cheap, and it's highly customizable. So the next steps are to get some plans going for things like benches, the dog bed that I will show in just a second, and a slide-out portion of this kitchen, all made from the aluminum extrusions that the camper is made out of. Let me know what you would like to see next in terms of designs in the comments below. So the last thing that I want to show everybody today is the dog platform that I made. And again, this was a mock-up prototype that I made out of 1 inch by 1 inch wood and a 1/4 inch panel for the platform. And then I put some RV carpet like I did on the bench. And then I wrap that in a tarp because our dogs do get a little bit dirty. One of the things I really like about this dog platform is that it gets rid of the back seat, but it also provides a lot of space underneath the dog platform itself for things like storage. You can see that Tupperware container that I have almost extends the entire length of the actual seat itself. So I can store most, if not all, of my camping equipment under there. It never leaves my truck. And all the tools that I use to build the camper are actually in there as well. So one of the next things I plan on doing is mocking up a design for a seat delete dog bed, kind of like this, where you can order all the aluminum pieces to your door and just bolt them all together really fast. And all you have to do is glue or tape a panel on top of that and then add some fabric to it. Future direction for kit campers is to eventually build out version 2 of the kit camper using all of the things that I learned from the first build of the camper. The whole goal of kit campers is to allow people to essentially be able to order a custom camper that gets delivered to their door, and all they have to do is assemble it IKEA style in their garage or in their driveway or on their truck itself. We really want to make DIY campers accessible and affordable to everybody, and with the goal in mind of allowing people to then be able to enjoy camping adventures in a custom camper that they built with their loved ones and their animals, getting out into nature and really enjoying and getting to experience what matters in life. So if you like this video and you want to try to help support kit campers, hit that like button. Subscribe to our videos. I'll be releasing them periodically. Go to our website and just check things out. Leave me some feedback. What do you want to see next? What sort of things have sparked your interest, have got those gears turning? I'm always thinking about new things, but unless you let me know, I don't know what to do next in terms of kit campers. So thanks, everybody. I really look forward to interacting with all of you and helping you build the campers of your dreams so you can go take those adventures that you want to do.